Boruto episode 62. I like the episode. I feel like it was a very good episode. One thing I'm pretty sure a lot of people are probably not going to like about this episode is that it was a very informative episode and it really didn't show us a lot of the action that we wanted to see. And one thing that I wish the anime of Boruto did is that they had long drawn out scenes like how Naruto did. And of course, this episode, it really covered a lot in one episode. I feel like it would have served us better to see about 3 episodes or 2 or 3 episodes of Momoshiki and Kinshiki actually at the training exam, so we could see a very detailed breakdown of a lot of the fights and a lot of the information. But they kind of compressed it into one episode, which felt a little bit rushed, but it was really a more of an informative video. But also because it was compressed, it did show us a lot of action as well. Now, one of the first things that we did see was Urashiki, Kinshiki, and Momoshiki appear, of course, and I was kind of keying in trying to see how the Genin were going to react. And the Genin kind of reacted how I thought they would have reacted. They were very calm, even though they were facing OTSUTSUKI members. Denki was laying out the infrastructure. Kawaki was trying to help people. Metal Lee as well. You had Shinki. He was ready for all the smoke. God had to tell him like, yo, cool out. Shinki wasn't trying to hear all that. He was still trying to beat up Momoshiki. Sadada was running around trying to catch an OTSUTSUKI member lacking. I really like how the Genin reacted. They weren't really scared or anything like that. Metal Lee, he kind of surprised me. I thought Metal Lee would be a little bit more scared, mainly because he's like the nervous one out of the group. Going into the actual OTSUTSUKI members, one of the most interesting parts about this episode was obviously Urashiki and his eye dojutsu. Now, we never knew that Urashiki had the Rinnegan or the Rinnegan. Let me tell you guys something right now. We don't know what his eye dojutsu is specifically. I want to get into that real quick, just real quick. Now, a lot of people are kind of classifying Urashiki's eye dojutsu as a Rinnegan. They're saying it's point blank a Rinnegan. When I tell you guys, we don't know. We could have no idea what Urashiki's eye dojutsu is. Now, a lot of people are saying it's a Rinnegan mainly because it has the same amount of tomos as Sasuke's Rinnegan. And it looks a lot like Sasuke's Rinnegan, almost the same way. Now, the thing I have to tell you guys, a lot of people are going to say that it's a Rinnegan mainly because it's red. If you guys know, the Rinnegan, it has this purple kind of bluish aura to it, and that's pretty much the only color to it. There could be many other colors to the Rinnegan. We have no idea, but Urashiki's Rinnegan is red. Now, the reason why they say it's probably not going to be a Rinnegan is that the Rinnegan has 9 tomos. If you guys don't know what a tomo is, it's the commas that are usually in the Sharingan, but Sasuke also has some tomos in his Rinnegan. Now, the Rinnegan that Sasuke has, his has 6 tomos, and it's the same amount of tomos that Urashiki has. Urashiki also has 6 tomos. Of course, if Urashiki had 9 tomos, it would be case closed. It's a red Rinnegan with 9 tomos. It's a Rinnegan. But since it only has 6, a lot of people are classifying it as a Rinnegan. I have to say, I have no idea what it is. No one has no idea what it is. When we talk about OTSUTSUKI members, we're talking about gods here. Like, no one really knows what they are. Their characters are quite literally broken. Like, it's broken. No one really knows. I mean, who really thought that somebody could change a Byakugan into a Rinnegan or a Rinnegan in a blink of an eye? Literally, no one really could have predicted that before yesterday. So no one really knows anything about this. We do have to get a lot more information about Urashiki. The thing I have to say about Urashiki's eye dojutsu is that his time space ninjutsu, it looks a lot like the time space ninjutsu that Kaguya used before in the past. If you guys never seen it, I'm showing it to you right now. She basically used that, and Urashiki, it looked a lot like that, which would kind of lend itself or would kind of sway the opinion that Urashiki does have a Rinnegan, mainly because that's the kind of time space ninjutsu that they have. If you guys think about it, if you guys look, the time space ninjutsu that Sasuke has, or the one that Sasuke uses, it looks different from the one that Urashiki uses. That could be the difference in the Rinnegans or the Rinnegan. So I'm not completely sure, but we do have to get a lot more information to know specifically. Now, Urashiki in this episode, I feel like he was playing with these guys a little bit, mainly because Urashiki didn't really show us everything that he could have done or everything that was in that little pouch of his. As you guys know, he carried around this little pouch, this little gourd, and it looked a lot like the gourd that God actually carries around, the Kaze Kage. And the gourd that Urashiki had, it had every sort of kind of jutsu. It had lightning, it had earth, it had water, it had everything. And the reason why I feel like Urashiki was playing with God and Chojido is, one, obviously because he's Urashiki OTSUTSUKI, he always has that playful attitude, and 2, if you think about it, if that Rod could basically take anybody's ninjutsu. Imagine all the OTSUTSUKI members, or imagine all the other people that Urashiki actually beat and took their jutsus. He could have used any of those jutsus. He probably took multiple people's OTSUTSUKI ninjutsu, even Tonega's ninjutsu. He didn't use that. He only used the ninjutsu that he took from Chojuro and Gata in this fight. So I feel like he was really playing around with them a little bit. And of course, that gave him a huge opening. And Gata and Chojuro, being the Kage that they are, they basically exposed him for that. And Urashiki, he just kind of had to retreat with his Rinnegan. It's going to be interesting to see if Urashiki really knows how to use the Rinnegan. Of course, the Rinnegan has a lot of abilities. It has push and pull of the Diva Path. It has the Ren Rebirth. It has telekinesis. Naming all of Rinnegan's powers, it'll probably take me 10 minutes to do all that, so I'm going to stop talking. But hopefully he does know how to use a lot of it, or hopefully for Naruto and Sasuke, in case he doesn't know how to use all of it. And I would have to say, whoever does kill Urashiki OTSUTSUKI, he will get a hell of a karma seal. If you guys don't know it, Boruto is manifesting his karma seal that he got from Ishhiki. That karma seal is supposed to be powerful, but whatever karma seal that Urashiki gives off, that one's going to be extremely powerful. The guy has almost arguably a Rinnegan or a Rinnegan. But getting off of Urashiki real quick, we're going to go on to Mitsuki. Now Mitsuki, he kind of went into Sage Mode a tiny bit, but not really all that into Sage Mode, because obviously he got beat extremely quick. And it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. A lot of people that say it's a good thing will say it's a good thing, mainly because if he would have been seen in that Sage Mode, he'd have probably had to leave the Leaf Village. And if he would have left the Leaf Village, we'd have never had to see more Mitsuki, or we'd have never seen more Mitsuki, and that would have been a bad thing right there. But the people that think it's a bad thing is, you know, we never really got to see what Mitsuki can do in that Sage Mode. But the thing I do have to point out is that Urashiki, he actually complimented Mitsuki about that Sage Mode. He said, you know, he never really seen anything like that, and it could be dangerous. I mean, if an OTSUTSUKI member is pretty much complimenting a Genin, that really tells you how strong Mitsuki could possibly be in the future, especially with that Sage Mode. But seeing Mitsuki willing to risk it all for Boruto, it really warmed my heart. I'm like, oh, they really had that friendship, that bromance right then and there. But another scene that really touched my heart is obviously the Boruto, Naruto, and Sasuke scene. But before we talk about that emotional stuff, I want to talk about some power scaling type of things. Back in the 4th Great Ninja War, Naruto was really having a lot of trouble with the tailed beast bombs by the 10 tails. And in this episode, Sasuke told Boruto that Naruto could have obliterated that projectile, that tailed beast bomb that Momoshiki fired at Boruto that looked like a miniature moon. He said he could have just obliterated it in seconds, but the only reason why he didn't obliterate it is mainly because he was trying to protect everybody else. So that kind of tells you, like, yo, Naruto is like extremely stronger than he was at age 16. And that just tells you how strong Naruto got. Now, right at that moment, we got to see a very emotional scene. And we got to see baby Boruto for the first time. Well, I don't know if it's the first time we've seen it in the episode, but honestly, this is the first time I'm remembering seeing baby Boruto. We might have seen it somewhere else, possibly in the OVA or something. But this is the first time I'm seeing baby Boruto. He looked cute. Throughout all the stages of Boruto was cute. It was like, Boruto's kind of thinking back of all his memories with his dad, because this very well be the last few seconds with Naruto. And Boruto finally seeing Naruto put his money where his mouth is, for a lack of term, he's actually gaining a lot of respect for Naruto. If you guys remember, earlier in the episode or earlier in this arc, Naruto told Boruto, like, hey, this is not just my family, the whole village is my family. And now Boruto is seeing, like, hey, Naruto really meant that. He's trying to protect his whole village. Like, Naruto is literally risking his life to protect the whole village. And the animations and the art that we've seen in this episode was absolutely amazing. We didn't get to see a lot of these scenes. For example, the scene where Naruto, he had his cloak all around the tail beast bomb, just trying to cover it and protect the whole village. That right there looked amazing. I loved it. And you kind of seen Hinata's dad just watching on in the shadows, like, hey, yeah, my daughter picked a good one. Like, Naruto was just protecting everybody. Everybody was happy to see it. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, I want to talk about how Naruto and Sasuke, they kind of coordinated what they were going to do. I feel like Naruto kind of implied to Sasuke, like, hey, I'm going to go with Momoshiki, I'm going to go with Kinshiki, to probably find out a little bit more information, also probably to teach Boruto a lesson, because he'd be scared straight by having his father kidnapped. In my opinion, if Naruto wanted to, obviously because Sasuke said he could have obliterated that projectile, I feel like Naruto could have most likely or probably beat Momoshiki and Kinshiki right then and there. Naruto looked at Sasuke and gave him that nod, like, hey, I'm about to be going for a couple, hold it down real quick. I feel like Naruto was kind of planning something in terms of him knowing, like, hey, I'm going to let these guys abduct me. But one thing I want to talk about right before I end the video is I've been projecting that we're going to see Boruto's eye dojutsu pop up throughout this whole arc. and we did not get to see it, and I'm mad about that. Hopefully we get to see it later on, but as of right now, it looks like Otsutsuki members or Otsutsuki chakra period, they're not a trigger to Boruto's eyes, so it might be something specifically with Tonetti. Another thing that I want us to keep an eye out for is Sarada's Sharingans. Now Sarada might get her second Tomo in her eyes after seeing all of this go down. She might not, no one really knows. In the manga she still has one Tomo, but I do want to tell you guys, in the manga it's really not following a lot of the stuff in the anime. For example, we haven't even seen Boruto's eye dojutsu in the manga yet. But I want you guys to tell me what you guys think about this episode in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. But it's been your boy Barbie, and we out.